With the plate fully restrained, I can now continue defining its operating environment by applying an external load. The load in this exercise will be a pulling load on the end face opposite our fixed face. When it comes to applying external loads, simulation offers different categories of loads, including forces, torques, pressures, gravity, and others. In this case, we'll be using a force. Earlier, when I applied the fixed geometry fixture, I first enabled the Fixture Property Manager, and then I selected the face. You can also pre-select the face, edge, or vertex you wish to apply a load or fixture to. I'll select the end face, and then I'll select the drop-down of the external loads icon and select Force. Instead of using the force icon, I could have also right-clicked the external load item in the Simulation Study Tree, or use the Simulation drop-down menu to bring up the Force Property Manager. Beginning at the top of the Property Manager, you can see I have the option of applying a force or a torque. So I'll use the Force option and make sure the normal button is active. You can also use the Selected Direction option to create the force in the direction of any face, edge, or plane you select. Later, we'll discuss units and how to change the default units used by simulation. Regardless of the default unit selected, you have the ability to specify units each time you define a load. In this case, I'll be applying a 20,000-pound load, so I'll change the units to English and type in 20,000. You can also use the flag to type in a value in the graphics area. Now pay attention to the arrow symbols representing the applied force in the graphics area. These indicate the direction of the force being applied. If the force is being applied in the wrong direction, click the reverse direction checkbox, and you can see the arrows now show the correct direction for pulling. In the Property Manager, you'll also see a setting for non-uniform distribution. This allows you to define a distributed force defined by a select coordinate system and a polynomial describing the variation of the force. We won't be using this setting in our exercise, but you can learn more about it and all other load types in the External Load section toward the end of this course. At the bottom of the Property Manager, we see symbol settings that allow you to change the appearance of the pink arrows used to represent this force. I don't need to make appearance changes, so I'll click OK to apply the 20,000-pound force. The force has been added to the Simulation Study Tree. As with the fixture, I want to change the default name to something more descriptive. I'll click Force Label and change it to Pulling Force. Now at this point, I've added a fixture and applied a 20,000-pound pulling force. This fully defines the operating environment for this part, and completes Step 4 of my validation. Now I'll move on to Step 5, Processing.